What's up? So it's been a while since I've done an art major advice session, and I thought since I'm finishing another semester, it's a good time to do another one. So today I'll be talking staying frugal, handling critiques, and choosing colleges wisely as an art major. Hope you enjoy, hope it's helpful. Let's talk about it. Last time I did one of these sit down videos, it was like a year ago, and I didn't even know what my editing style was. I remember going back and watching it, and I was talking so loud and I was like so like hyper for whatever reason, and it was so bright. Let's just like dim it down a little bit. Let's have a chill conversation about some good old art student, art college, art major advice. Get your coffee or your tea, depending on your preference. Okay, so my first piece of advice would be to sign up for classes as soon as the enrollment date opens and you can enroll in classes. Once you wait past that day that enrollment opens, it's going to be really difficult to get into classes, because if you think about it, someone that's majoring in something that can have those big open auditorium classes, they probably have like 200 seats and can fit a lot of people into their classrooms. But art majors, you have like just a classroom with maybe 18 seats. Art classes are a little bit more one-on-one. I won't say one-on-one, but they're smaller, so there's not going to be as many seats. And they also take longer. Some classes are 4 hours, so I feel like there's not as many options, you know? So people are going to be on top of it, and they're going to sign up for classes as soon as that enrollment date opens. Once that fills up, people are going to start piling onto the wait list. Once you're like number 17 on the wait list, most likely you're not probably going to get in that class, and you're going to have to wait till the next semester. Also, stay in contact with your advisor very closely. My advisor is super nice and she's really helpful, and they may even help you get into classes even if the wait list is full or the classes are full. They'll help you get into those classes. You got to just network and you got to just talk to them, and they might be able to make it work for you. So get to know your advisor as well. The next thing I have to say, maybe a little bit controversial. It's not controversial, but it's really your decision. But for me, I'm so glad I made this decision. When I was in high school, I knew I wanted to go to one of those big art colleges. I wanted to go to SCAD. I wanted to go to RISD because I felt like it would be such a cool community and it would be so cool. And then I looked at the cost of those colleges, which are like out of this world insane. I got into SCAD a couple of times, but I later decided I don't know if this is for me just because of the cost. Later, I decided to go to an in-state university that also offers plenty of art majors, and I'm so glad I made that decision. Think about an in-state college or university that you won't have to spend as much money and might offer a major that you think you might be interested in. Because I feel like at the end of the day, by the time you get your degree, you're really just going to be thinking about how to pay back student loans more so than the name of the college that's on your degree. I don't know. That's me, but it might not be you. You might really want a SCAD degree, and I totally get that. It's all up to you. Get whatever degree you want, but that's something that I think I made the right decision doing. I hope that didn't make anybody mad. I'm not trying to make anybody mad here. Here's my third piece of advice. Once you get into your classes and you're reading over your syllabus with your professor and they're telling you all of these supplies that you're going to need to get, I advise you to not get all of those supplies at once. Don't do it. Actually, I've never done that because I felt like it was ridiculous to go and spend hundreds of dollars on supplies for an art class that I don't really know much about yet. I've seen students go and buy all of their supplies all at once, and we either don't even get to that project, or plans change, or the teacher supplies the products for you. Art supplies are super expensive sometimes. Buying a bunch of art supplies that I'm not going to use is extremely frustrating. I would say don't go out and buy all of the supplies all at once. Go project by project, and if you absolutely need the product for your project that you're doing, then buy it, because when you're in college, you just don't want to be spending a whole bunch of money, especially on things that you don't even need. My next piece of advice is something that I wish someone told me literally 3 weeks ago. Before I get into this, I just wanted to say that there are plenty of different types of finals that teachers will give you, depending on the teacher's teaching style, the professor's teaching style, what you did in the class, and so on. Sometimes you'll get a final where your teacher gives you an assignment and you have like 3 weeks to do that assignment and figure out how you're going to go about it, what your project's going to look like, what it's going to be. And that's basically what my final was this semester for my design class. I had to read the directions that my professor gave me and also using my own resources to come up with a final project that corresponded with the assignment that she gave us. I don't know if that made sense. I wish someone gave me the advice of considering a few things before getting started. One being the time that you have. If you're going into a project that is huge, like you have like this big idea and you feel like it's going to be great, you need to consider the time frame. There's a deadline, and if you're getting closer to the deadline and you know you're not going to finish, that's not good. That kind of happened with me. I had to tweak my plan so that I would finish, and it wasn't exactly what I envisioned it to be in the beginning, which made me a little bit insecure about the project. So I think it's really important to actually consider the time frame and be practical about the time that you have and if you're going to be able to finish that project, because there's nothing worse than being excited about a project and then realizing like, oh, I really do not have enough time for this. Also consider the amount of money that you want to spend. When I went into my project that I did for my final this semester, I didn't consider how much money I'd be spending. I kept going to Michael's and I kept buying these little plastic or glass beads so that I can create this project, and I kept running out of the beads and I kept having to buy more, and I kept trying to figure out what my best option was when it came to saving money. And I just feel like I could have avoided that completely if I considered how much money I would actually have to spend before I got started. It's important to consider your time frame and consider your money when it comes to doing final projects and making sure that the final product is your best work. My next piece of advice is for the introverts. It's really important to participate in critiques because, for one, there is a participation grade usually in your class. I also think it's important to participate in critiques because it helps you be a little bit more serious about when people critique your work. I think if you don't know what a critique is, it's basically when you are finished with a project and you put it in front of the class and everyone talks about your strengths, your weaknesses, and what you could do better and what they love about your project. And it kind of puts you on the spot for a minute, but it's okay. The time passes and you get advice on things that you could have done better. I found that when I'm not participating in critiques, or if I'm just like sitting in the back letting everyone else critique people's work, I don't feel as engaged in the class and it doesn't make me feel excited for my own critique. Lately, I've been a little bit more excited for people to critique my work because I am critiquing their work and I'm telling them what they could have done better or what I like about their project. So I feel this mutual help when it comes to critiquing projects. Does that make sense? This is another piece of advice. When I went into being an art major, I wasn't so humble. I was like, I know how to do art. I'm good at it. I taught myself how to draw. I taught myself how to paint, and I'm good at this. And I can't wait to show people how I can draw. I don't know if anyone else can look back and say that they went into being an art major with that mindset. When you get into being an art major, you realize how many people are also so good at art, and it allows you to sit back and appreciate other people's work. My advice is to be open-minded about learning. Sometimes you go into classes and you're like, they can't teach me anything because I'm great. Humbling yourself allows you to really take in advice that your professors give you and that also you can learn from your other classmates. It's really important to do that so that you can get the most out of the experience of the class. I think I learned so much from my drawing classes, more so than I want to admit, because I didn't love drawing classes. I learned how to do full body portraits, and that has pushed me as an artist. So just open your mind and just allow yourself to take in as much information as possible, even if you feel like you learned this already and you're going back to the beginning and you're starting over. Anything that you're learning in your studio classes, I'm sure you can apply it to your own work in some way, whether that has to do with drawing full bodies or drawing portraits, drawing landscapes, discipline, the medium that you use. You might try something else. I tried oil pastel for the first time in my drawing class and I absolutely love it. Just opening your mind and allowing yourself to try those new things, it's really helpful to your own art. So that's what I would say. Next, going back to critiques. Be open to criticism and don't get offended by it. There's sometimes like where you're working on a project for like 2 or 3 weeks in a class, you're feeling good about it and you're spending money on it and you're putting a lot of effort and time into it, and then critiques roll around and people have good things to say about it and people also have things to say about it that you might not like or you think goes against the real meaning of why you did your piece. And sometimes it can make you feel like you're offended, like it can make you feel offended, and it's just like, bro, I worked on this for 3 weeks and all you have to say is that, or I worked on this for 3 weeks and you're telling me that I could have done this better. Like, come on, my guy, like I worked really hard on this project, and while it might feel like that sometimes, it's so good to open your mind and consider those critiques, because it does make you a better artist, it makes you a better listener, and it makes you consider what other people are seeing. You could paint a painting and it looks great, but someone will be like, I don't really get what this means. You're like, what do you mean you don't get what it means? It's right there. Obviously you would never say that, but listening to the fact that someone said they don't understand what your painting means could help you try to incorporate that message a little bit better next time in your painting. Just consider what other people are seeing, because while your art is about your art and your message, it's also kind of about what other people are seeing and how they're interpreting it. So consider your audience, consider what they're thinking about it, and I think it will push you. It'll make you a better artist. Next piece of advice: talk to your professor, ask them for opportunities, ask them about opportunities, take their advice. Usually they're really helpful. Usually they want you to succeed. Obviously, I hope they want you to succeed. A lot of times my professors will give you a list of opportunities throughout the semester and be like, hey, there's an art show that they're looking for artists to submit. There's a call for artists, submit your art here. There's a art magazine you might want to submit your work to. I've had teachers that force you to submit your work because they're like, I want you to submit your work into these shows or magazines because they're good and that people should see them. It's always important, if you're an artist and you want to be a successful artist, to network. I know it's frustrating. I hate networking, but asking people about opportunities and pushing yourself to submit to those opportunities is really important. And sometimes your professors know more about those opportunities. So going to them and asking them one-on-one, is there any opportunities that you know about? It can't hurt. You know what I'm saying? So don't forget to talk to your professors. So yeah, those are a few of the things that I have done this semester that I wanted to share, and then also some things that I wish I have done in the past that I also wanted to share, and things that I wish someone told me, some things that I've learned, and I'm still learning, so I might do another one of these. I don't know. But anyway, thanks so much for watching this video if you've made it this far. If you want to follow me on my socials, they're all at Kirsten Arts on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. My website is at kirstenarts.com, not at kirstenarts.com. It's kirstenarts.com, but they'll all be linked in the description below, as well as my podcast. It's called Introverts Talk To, and I talk about introverted experiences. So yeah, but anyway, thanks for watching this video. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. I didn't drink any of my coffee while we were just talking. Hope you had some of your tea. Yeah, have a wonderful day. Okay, that's it. Bye.